Alright, what's up, guys? I kind of just wanted to talk about the trade deadline, all the crazy trades that happened. I mean, obviously none of the big fish got thrown around, like, Davis, whoever. But there were some pretty good pieces that are going to help out, like, title contending teams. And the first trade we're going to talk about today is a trade that impacted my team, Chicago Bulls. Unfortunately, I am a Chicago Bulls fan, but I think this trade we pulled off today wasn't too bad. I'm really okay with it, if that makes sense. If I were to give him a grade, I would give him about a B, about an 85% on that test. But a bunch of people think it's bad. It's a bad move because he's on like a $27 million contract. But honestly, like, that boy can hoop, I saw people calling him bad and like a bum, and they obviously haven't watched him play. This guy can play out score. He's long, he can get in the paint. He's a good dunker, absolute knockdown shooter. He's going to fit in perfectly with Levine and Dunn. With them being the primary ball handlers, driving, kicking out to him, he's going to be knocked down 50% from three. Along with Lowry as well, we're going to be able to stretch out everywhere. And once Wendell Carter can develop his jump shot a little, we're going to be able to stretch everyone out and shoot 25 threes a game and make 15, 12 of them, We're going to be, and with his age, like he's at, I think he's 24, 25 right now. He's still in his prime. And I still believe that he was kind of undershadowed with John Wall. Then that I think he can break out on a team like the Bulls. He could be a 22 points per game scorer. Maybe not more than that, but like he's obviously, like I said, he's a great scorer. He can create with the ball, without the ball. And obviously the Bulls haven't had good small forwards in the past. Denzel Valentine is atrocious. We had Paul Zipser. No one even knows who he is anymore. No one knew who he was then. And then who else do we have? Chandler Hutchinson, of course. I think he could be good still. He could be a good bench player. And then, yeah, we haven't really had any good small forwards. And I think targeting Otto Porter is a great position for the Bulls. And I think this is a great trade they pulled off. The next trade is arguably the biggest one that happened, the most influential one that happened today, which happens to be Marc going to the Raptors. I feel like this is a great move for Toronto because they're kind of going all in. Because right now in the East, it's kind of blown open between four teams. There's no really favorite in the East. The Celtics could take it. The Bucks could take it. Who also made a pretty good move today. The Sixers could take it. Who also made, as we know, a great move. And then obviously the Raptors could take it. And with this move, it might have propelled them over the hump that could make them better than one of the other teams. But on the Grizzlies side, it's kind of confusing for me. It's kind of confusing for me why they did this trade, honestly. I understand that they want to get away from Gasol and get away from Conley and go into a younger rebuilding state. But getting someone like Valanciunas, who's already 29, isn't going to help you with that. DeLon Wright is trash. CJ Miles is hot garbage. And the 2024 second round pick isn't going to help them in their rebuilding state. And also they didn't even trade Conley. So it seems like they kind of were going in the right idea with trying to rebuild and get rid of their older players, but they just didn't perform it well. This isn't a good trade for them. They could have gotten a lot better, I feel, for Gasol. A lot better than DeLon Wright and CJ Miles, obviously. But for the Raptors, I'd probably give this probably a A+, maybe. It's because they kind of just got him for nothing. I mean, Valanciunas is okay. Speaking of Valanciunas, it's kind of funny how they posted the "I'm back" thing, and then he was not back for that game. He kind of got traded an hour later. And also funny that DeLon Wright and CJ Miles were also in that picture. Anyway, though, like I said, I'd give probably the Raptors an A+ in this trade. It was a great trade for them. And then for the Grizzlies, I'd probably give them like a D, because like I said, understand this trade. I mean, there might be some reason behind it, but right now I just don't understand it. If you're a Grizzlies fan, good luck. The next trade I like to talk about is one of the more interesting ones today that I saw. And of course, it's the markelle fultz trade. I personally am a huge believer in markelle fultz. I think he can be a great player. After watching him in college and just how good he can be, I feel like this is a mistake of how bad he's been playing. And obviously he's been hurt. He's only played 33 games over his NBA career. But like I said, the Magic sent Jonathan Simmons, who's a decent player. He can be a good bench player. And a protected 2020 first round pick, which is the Thunder pick, which will probably be around 2025. And a 2019 second round pick to the Sixers. For the Sixers, I think it's a good trade for both teams. Both teams got decent value from the trade. The Thunder pick could turn out to be a decent player. You never know with picks, obviously. Just like we didn't know Fultz would be this bad in the NBA after he worked in college. And also, Jonathan Simmons for the Sixers is going to be a good bench player that's going to give them some quality minutes, quality defending. We saw how good he could be on the Spurs in, I think it was his rookie season, maybe his second year. But he can get some quality 10, 15 minutes off the bench. I think that's a good player for the Sixers to have. And then on the Magic's part, this is a phenomenal trade for me, I believe, because they're not really giving up much. I feel that if Fultz turns out to be decent, they kind of broke even. But what I think Fultz is going to be a good player. I think he's going to turn out to be not a star, but I think he could be a solid starter in the league. The Magic have won this trade. But personally, I would give the Sixers on this trade probably a B-. And then the Magic I'd probably give around a B+ or A-. Just because, I said, there's less risk involved with this trade. And I think it's a great place for Markelle to be in that young environment with Aaron Gordon and Vucevic. I think he can excel in that environment. And he can play well. I feel in a year or two, we might be looking back on this trade saying, wow, that was a stupid trade the Sixers did. Just like we saw the Thunder let go of James Harden in 2012 when he was still young in his career. But yeah, I think that this trade benefits the Magic more and that Fultz can be a great player one day. Now, the last trade I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be the Nikola Mirotic trade. I feel like this trade for the Bucks was a lot bigger than people see. Mirotic lit it up in the beginning of the season. He can put up 8 threes and make 6 of them whenever he wants, He's a great three-point shooter. He will fit in perfectly with what the Bucks run. With Giannis and Bledsoe driving, they're great passers. They're going to find him on the wing. Along with people like Chris Middleton, they're going to knock down threes all game. Niko is also someone who's close to my heart, who was in the Bulls for a couple years, who I have seen go off in a couple games, and I can see what he's capable of. But like I said, this trade for the Bucks is amazing. They kind of robbed the Pelicans, in my opinion, because it was a 3-team trade, and the Pelicans got back Jason Smith and Stanley Johnson, which is nowhere near of what Nikola Mirotic is. I saw that a couple Pelicans fans are livid, and I would be too, because Jason Smith is horrible. He's horrible. He's awful. Stanley Johnson hasn't been the best in the NBA either, but he has a lot of potential. He can blast into a good player. But the Bucks also did give up Don Maker, who didn't even play for them really. I think he can be a good player, but apparently the Bucks don't, and just don't play him. But I would give the Bucks on this trade probably an A. This is a great trade for them if they want to win the finals to contend. And I'd probably give the Pelicans a C. I mean, honestly, everything the Pelicans... No. I don't get the Pelicans a C. I get the Pelicans like a B-. Everything the freaking Pelicans do is a D-. They can't even find a good trade for Davis. The Pelicans are offering them their whole entire team except for LeBron, and they're not taking it. They want like 3 billion things for Davis. It's insane. Quinn Demps, I think his name is horrible. He has to leave. Get him out of here. Get him out of here, coach. And then I'd rank this for Detroit, probably like a C. Thon Maker could be decent. I think he could fit in well with Detroit. But the Bucks are obviously like clear winners of this trade. They finessed everyone in this trade. And I think they might be favorites in the East now. But with that probably wraps up my ideas and thoughts from today. My favorite day of the year, trade deadline. It's like Christmas every year. Getting new things every year, players, new teams. Shaking up the NBA, it's amazing. But I know people are going to say I missed the Tobias Harris trade, but I feel like I can make an extra video on that. And on that note, thank you for watching, and see ya.